For the past 20 years, I've spent my time and my life and commitment and energy devoted to creating high-performing teams across multiple industries, such as healthcare, financial services, real estate, education, just to name a few. And over that time, I've had the opportunity to disrupt constructively environments in order to create space for the most amazing talent to create some of the most amazing solutions using technology and technological techniques to deliver the greatest business value. But it hasn't always been that way. You see, back in the 1970s, specifically 1978, I was diagnosed with a then not well understood learning pattern called ADD, or attention deficit disorder. See, attention deficit disorder is a neurological or a neurodevelopmental thinking pattern that affects a person's ability to organize, focus, and even control emotion. A little bit later in my life, I learned that I had two other closely related patterns, known as dyslexia, which actually influences a person's ability to fluently consume words and sentences and understand them fluently. And also another one called dysgraphia. And dysgraphia is actually more affects the physical ability to write, such as penmanship, like messy handwriting, spelling, and my favorite, sentence structure, where we leave out keywords. So the early years of my life were really challenged because the way I processed information. And while my parents were my greatest advocates and supporters, it was a teacher that I had in my middle school years that really set the stage and the tone and the pattern for which I would experience the rest of my life. And thinking about her right now, I remember there was a day when she gave us this long-form writing assignment, and I struggled emotionally, intellectually. And she saw what was happening in me, and she approached me. She pulled me aside, and she said, with the deepest commitment and compassion, right into my eyes, she said, "Marleaux, my job is not to tell you what to think. My job is to teach you how to think." And that wisdom affected my young mind and created a shift in me and helped me really appreciate and experience my mind's design differently going forward. And around that same time, my parents, they were always looking for that thing that would influence me and inspire me and really help elevate my creativity and help me express it in a way that I hadn't been able to before, but also to give me that thing to focus on. And so back in 1982, my middle school got a new computer lab. My parents took notice of my interest in that. And in 1984, they made a sacrifice and took a chance, and they bought what was then called a personal computer. And yes, while today computers are common in households, back then in the 80s, only 8% of households had one, only one. So having these tools and having the support of my loving parents and this remarkable teacher gave me the opportunity to really dive deeper into something that allowed me to express myself, develop my creativity, dig deeper into my ingenuity, and really just unapologetically be me. Now, the beautiful thing is, I was able to take all these things and do something remarkable. I was able to write software that helped me be a better student. So when I was in high school, while my classmates were studying in their paper books, yeah, we had paper books then, I was actually writing software to quiz me. And while my classmates were writing their essays on paper by hand, yes, we used paper back then, I actually used my computer using what was called word processing software. And yes, I was an early adopter of spell check. And while my classmates were using their calculators in our physics and chemistry and calculus and trig classes, I had what was called a little pocket computer, which is now extinct, called a Tandy PC-6. And I wrote software on there that helped me study and helped me take tests more efficiently. So through all of this, I was able to realize that it was my ability to adapt and adjust given the tools that I had and a way to express them. And I also learned that I didn't have to be constrained by my circumstances, nor did I have to conform to my environment. So, thinking about the love that my parents gave me and the support and the commitment they had, along with that remarkable teacher and others, I was able to learn that what I thought then were just desperate but clever attempts to survive were really me in preparation to do greater things, to not be limited, to use tools to express what was inside of me and perform at a level that those who didn't have those tools at that time could. And thinking back on the tools that I created, those things are common now. And so now we're at a whole new level. And I think it's a beautiful thing. And so our mind's design should be seen as a benefit, not a limitation. Also around that time, I began to not consciously but just instinctively understand what I now consider to be the most important principles of leadership, which are courage, creativity, and commitment. So why does all of this matter today? We are at one of the most disruptive times in history across the world. We are at the precipice of a new technological advancement that will disrupt our economic, political, and social environments. And this technological advancement is called generative AI. Generative AI can create content such as video, audio, text, synthetic data, faster than any human can, because it is the amalgamation of all of our knowledge and all of our being. And so it will change how we interact. It will create what we might feel as chaos and confusion as we go into this new way of interacting with another and being with each other and being by ourselves and consuming and creating. But by the same token, we need to meet this change, this disruption with a similar set of human beings that were designed to be disruptive. A set of human beings that were designed from birth to not only be different, but to think differently. Think about that student, the one that, well, is different, the one that shows up differently, the one that constantly amazes you with solutions that boggle your mind. Think about that coworker that suggests ideas to solve big business problems that make everyone nervous. Think about the audacious entrepreneurs that have visions so big that they astound our imagination. Think about modern day leaders like Elon Musk, CEO of Tesla, SpaceX, and X. And Elon Musk has a mind design called Asperger's, which has this profound ability to create, but not only create, but to learn topics at a deep and broad level, and also comes with the bonus of brutal intellectual honesty. Think about Sir Richard Branson, co-founder of the Virgin Group, who also owns Virgin Galactic, which is pushing forward the frontier of human space travel. And not only does Richard Branson thrive on his dyslexic mind design, which comes with the gift of pattern recognition, he's also built over 400 other companies with it. Think about popular TEDx speaker, author, and fellow ADHDer, Simon Sinek. And Simon Sinek is considered one of the most important thinkers of our day. And he's influenced millions of people with his popular ideas and his many speeches and his impactful books, such as Start With Why, and my personal favorite, Leaders Eat Last. As I consider all of these individuals as a body, as a way of thinking and being, what I think of is the importance of the environment determining what type of leader is required. And so as I close today, I'm reminded of a commercial that was aired by Apple back in 1997 as a part of their Think Different campaign. And the commercial was called The Crazy Ones. And this particular commercial honored some of the most disruptive leaders and thinkers of the 20th century, including Albert Einstein, Muhammad Ali, Amelia Earhart, Pablo Picasso, just to name a few. And I'm going to leave you with the last line, the closing line of the commercial, because I think it so beautifully articulates and embodies the spirit of these disruptive thinkers. Those who think they are crazy enough to change the world are the ones who do. Thank you.